Hello and welcome to the Mindful Zone. I'm so glad you're here today. Whether you stumbled upon this video by chance or came with intention, know that your presence matters. Today we're embarking on a journey toward peace, clarity, and transformation. This isn't just another self-help video, it's an invitation to pause, breathe, and reconnect with yourself. Life can feel overwhelming at times, can't it? Bills piling up, endless to-do lists, social media pulling us in every direction. It's no wonder so many of us feel stressed, anxious, or stuck in cycles of worry. But what if I told you there's a way to break free from all of that? A way to live more fully, more joyfully, and more authentically? That's exactly what Buddhism, meditation, and mindfulness offer. These ancient practices aren't relics of the past. They're tools for modern life, designed to help us navigate the chaos with grace and ease. Now, before we dive in, let me say something important. You don't need to be an expert to benefit from these teachings. In fact, you don't even need to believe in anything specific. What you do need is curiosity, an openness to explore new ways of thinking and being. If you're willing to show up, I promise you'll leave this video with practical insights you can apply right away. Over the next 2 hours, we'll cover 10 chapters, each one building on the last. We'll start by understanding why we worry so much and how Buddhism provides a framework for addressing this universal human experience. Then we'll delve into the transformative power of meditation and mindfulness, exploring not only their spiritual roots, but also the science behind them. Along the way, I'll share stories, tips, and exercises to guide you on your path. Whether you're completely new to these ideas or have been practicing for years, there's something here for everyone. Beginners will find clear explanations and actionable steps, while those further along may discover fresh perspectives or renewed inspiration. My goal is simple: to create a space where you feel supported, encouraged, and empowered to make positive changes in your life. Before we move forward, take a moment to settle in, maybe adjust your posture. Close your eyes briefly and take a deep breath. Feel the air filling your lungs, then slowly release it. Good. Now, let's set an intention together. For the next 2 hours, let go of distractions. Allow yourself to be fully present, not because you have to, but because you deserve this time for yourself. As we explore Buddhism, meditation, and mindfulness, remember that this is a process. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Every step you take brings you closer to the peace and fulfillment you seek. So, are you ready? Let's begin our journey, one mindful moment at a time. Chapter 1. Understanding worry. Why do we stress so much? Worry, it's something almost everyone experiences, yet few truly understand. To unravel its mysteries, we must first ask ourselves, why do we stress so much? What purpose does worry serve, and why does it sometimes spiral out of control? These are questions that have plagued humanity for centuries, but they're especially relevant in today's fast-paced, hyper-connected world. From an evolutionary standpoint, worry played a crucial role in our survival. Imagine early humans living in the wild, constantly alert for predators or natural disasters. Their ability to anticipate danger kept them alive. Fast forward thousands of years, and while our external environment has changed dramatically, our brains haven't caught up entirely. The same mechanisms that once protected us now often work against us, triggering anxiety over things like job security, relationships, or health issues, threats that aren't immediate or life-threatening, but still activate our fight or flight response. But here's the thing. Worry itself isn't inherently bad. It's a natural reaction to uncertainty. The problem arises when worry becomes chronic, consuming our thoughts and draining our energy. And this is where Buddhism offers profound insight. According to Buddhist teachings, worry stems from attachment, our tendency to cling to outcomes or resist change. When we fixate on how things should be, rather than accepting them as they are, suffering follows. Let's break this down further. Think about something you've worried about recently. Was it related to wanting a particular result? Perhaps you hoped for a promotion at work, feared losing a loved one, or obsessed over whether people liked you. All of these scenarios involve attachment to success, to safety, to approval. While these desires might seem reasonable, they trap us in a cycle of craving and aversion. We crave what we want and avoid what we don't, creating tension within ourselves. Buddhism teaches that attachment leads to suffering, which is encapsulated in the first noble truth. Life involves dukkha, often translated as suffering or unsatisfactoriness. Dukkha doesn't mean life is inherently miserable. Rather, it points to the dissatisfaction we feel when reality doesn't align with our expectations. For example, imagine planning a picnic only for it to rain. Instead of enjoying the cozy indoors, you dwell on the disappointment. That gap between expectation and reality, that's dukkha. But Buddhism doesn't stop there. It offers a solution through the second noble truth. Suffering arises from craving and aversion. Once we recognize this pattern, we can begin to loosen our grip. How? By cultivating awareness and acceptance. Awareness means noticing when worry arises without immediately reacting to it. Acceptance means acknowledging reality as it is, rather than resisting it. Together, these practices form the foundation of mindfulness, a skill we'll explore in depth later. It's also worth noting that worry often thrives on storytelling. Our minds love to weave narratives, predicting worst-case scenarios or replaying past mistakes. While this ability helps us plan and learn, it can also lead to rumination, a repetitive thought loop that amplifies stress. Have you ever noticed how one worry snowballs into dozens? What if I fail this project? Quickly morphs into what if I lose my job? And then, what if I can't pay rent? Each thought feeds the next, creating a mental storm. Mindfulness interrupts this cycle by anchoring us in the present moment. When we train ourselves to focus on what's happening right now, we realize that most worries exist solely in our heads. They're projections, not realities. Sure, challenges may arise, but worrying about them prematurely robs us of the peace we could otherwise enjoy. So, how do we start shifting our relationship with worry? The first step is simply becoming aware of it. Notice when worry arises. Where do you feel it in your body? Is it tightness in your chest, a knot in your stomach, or tension in your shoulders? Physical sensations often accompany emotional states, serving as signals to pay attention. Once you identify worry, label it silently. This is worry. Naming it creates distance, allowing you to observe it objectively instead of getting swept away. Next, remind yourself that worry is temporary. Just like clouds passing across the sky, thoughts come and go. They don't define you. Even if a worry feels urgent, chances are it won't matter as much tomorrow or even an hour from now. This perspective shift alone can reduce its intensity. Finally, practice self-compassion. Be gentle with yourself. Worrying doesn't mean you're weak or flawed. It means you care deeply about your life and well-being. Treat yourself with kindness, just as you would a friend going through a tough time. Often we're harsher on ourselves than we would ever be on someone else. Would you tell a friend who was worried you're being ridiculous? Or just snap out of it? Probably not, so why say those things to yourself? Another aspect of worry that's important to address is perfectionism. Many of us hold ourselves to impossibly high standards, believing that if we just work harder, try harder, or be better, we'll finally achieve happiness. But the truth is, no amount of striving will ever bring lasting contentment if we're constantly chasing an unattainable ideal. Buddhism teaches us to embrace imperfection, not because it's easier, but because it's real. Life is messy, unpredictable, and beautiful precisely because of its imperfections. By letting go of the need to control everything, we open ourselves to greater freedom and joy. Now let's talk about the role of fear in worry. Fear is a powerful emotion, and it often masquerades as worry. When we worry about the future, we're usually afraid of something: loss, failure, rejection, or pain, but fear thrives in the unknown. The more uncertain a situation feels, the more fearful we become. One way to counteract this is by leaning into uncertainty instead of running from it. Ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? And if that scenario came true, how would I cope? Often simply imagining a solution reduces the power fear holds over us. At this point, you might be wondering, is it really possible to stop worrying altogether? The short answer is no, and that's okay. Worry serves a purpose, as we discussed earlier. It alerts us to potential problems and motivates us to take action. The key is to differentiate between productive and unproductive worry. Productive worry leads to problem solving. For instance, if you're concerned about finances, you might create a budget or seek advice. Unproductive worry, on the other hand, spins endlessly without resolution. Learning to distinguish between the two allows you to channel your energy effectively. To wrap up this chapter, let's recap what we've covered. Worry is a natural human experience, rooted in evolution, attachment, and fear. It becomes problematic when it spirals out of control, leading to chronic stress and unhappiness. Buddhism offers valuable insights into the nature of worry, particularly through the concepts of dukkha, craving, and impermanence. By cultivating awareness, practicing acceptance, and treating ourselves with compassion, we can begin to transform our relationship with worry. As we move forward, keep these ideas in mind. They'll serve as the foundation for everything else we'll explore, from meditation techniques to mindfulness practices and beyond. Remember, this isn't about eliminating worry entirely, it's about managing it in healthier, more constructive ways. With patience and persistence, you'll find that worry loses its grip, making room for peace, clarity, and joy. Chapter 2: The Core Teachings of Buddhism. Buddhism is not just a religion or philosophy, it's a profound system of understanding life, suffering, and the path to liberation. At its heart lies timeless wisdom that has guided countless individuals toward greater peace, clarity, and purpose. Today we'll delve deeply into the core teachings of Buddhism, exploring how they can help us navigate modern challenges and transform our relationship with worry. To begin, let's talk about one of the most foundational frameworks in Buddhism, the Four Noble Truths. These truths provide a roadmap for understanding suffering and finding freedom from it. They may seem simple at first glance, but their depth reveals itself as you apply them to your own life. The first noble truth states that life involves dukkha, often translated as suffering or unsatisfactoriness. Dukkha isn't limited to extreme pain. It encompasses the subtle dissatisfaction we feel when things don't go as planned. It's the frustration of traffic jams, the disappointment of unmet expectations, the ache of loneliness, or the unease of uncertainty. Dukkha reminds us that life is imperfect, and that's okay. By acknowledging this truth, we stop resisting reality and open ourselves to deeper acceptance. The second noble truth explains the cause of dukkha, craving, and aversion. Craving refers to our attachment to pleasure, success, relationships, or outcomes. Aversion is the opposite, our resistance to discomfort, failure, loss, or change. Both craving and aversion stem from ignorance or misunderstanding the nature of reality. We mistakenly believe that external circumstances can bring lasting happiness or that avoiding discomfort will lead to peace, but clinging to what we want and pushing away what we don't creates a cycle of dissatisfaction. This teaching invites us to examine our attachments and see how they shape our experience of suffering. The third noble truth offers hope. There is a way out of dukkha. This state of liberation is called nirvana, which means extinguishing the fires of craving and aversion. Nirvana isn't some distant paradise, it's a profound sense of inner peace, free from the relentless pursuit of desire. Achieving nirvana doesn't mean detaching from life entirely, it means engaging fully while remaining unshaken by its ups and downs. It's about finding balance, equanimity, and contentment regardless of external conditions. Finally, the fourth noble truth outlines the path to ending dukkha, the Eightfold Path. This path serves as a practical guide for ethical living, mental discipline, and spiritual development. Let's break it down further because each aspect of the Eightfold Path holds valuable lessons for managing worry and cultivating mindfulness. Right understanding. This means seeing life clearly without distortion. It's about recognizing the impermanent, interconnected, and unsatisfactory nature of existence. When we truly understand that everything changes, including our worries, we become less attached to specific outcomes. Right understanding helps us approach life with curiosity rather than fear. Right intention. Our thoughts shape our actions, so cultivating wholesome intentions is essential. Instead of harboring ill will, greed, or harmful desires, we focus on kindness, compassion, and renunciation. For example, if you find yourself worrying excessively, ask, what intention underlies this worry? Is it rooted in love and care, or is it fueled by fear and control? Shifting your intention can transform your mindset. Right speech. Words have power. They can heal or harm, uplift or tear down. Practicing right speech means speaking truthfully, kindly, and constructively. Avoid gossip, harsh criticism, or idle chatter. When you notice worry manifesting the negative self-talk, pause and reframe it. Replace "I'm going to fail" with "I'll do my best and learn along the way." Right action. This involves behaving ethically and responsibly. Actions aligned with morality create harmony within ourselves and with others. For instance, if worry drives you to act impulsively or selfishly, pause and consider whether your actions align with your values. Acting with integrity reduces guilt and regret, two common sources of stress. Right livelihood. Your work should contribute positively to the world, not exploit or harm others. If your job causes constant anxiety or conflicts with your principles, it may be time to reflect on whether it supports your well-being and growth. Aligning your livelihood with your values fosters a sense of purpose and fulfillment. Right effort. Life requires effort, but it's important to direct it wisely. Right effort means cultivating positive qualities like patience, generosity, and mindfulness while letting go of harmful habits like anger, laziness, or distraction. When worry arises, channel your energy into constructive solutions rather than spiraling into negativity. Right mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in each moment. It trains us to observe our thoughts, emotions, and sensations without judgment. By staying grounded in the here and now, we prevent worry from hijacking our minds. We'll explore mindfulness in greater detail in later chapters, but for now, remember that it's a cornerstone of Buddhist practice. Right concentration. This refers to developing deep focus through meditation. Concentration strengthens the mind, making it easier to stay calm and centered amid challenges. With regular meditation, you'll find that worries lose their grip, allowing you to respond to situations with clarity and wisdom. Together, these 8 aspects form a comprehensive path toward liberation. They're not rigid rules, but flexible guidelines designed to support personal growth. As you integrate them into your life, you'll notice shifts, not overnight, but gradually. Small changes add up over time, leading to profound transformation. Another key concept in Buddhism is impermanence. Everything in life is transient: relationships, careers, emotions, even our very breath. While impermanence can feel unsettling, it's also incredibly freeing. When we accept that nothing lasts forever, we stop clinging to fleeting pleasures or resisting inevitable changes. Instead, we embrace the flow of life, appreciating each moment for what it is. This brings us to another vital teaching, non-self, anatta. In Western culture, we often identify strongly with our thoughts, feelings, and roles as if they define who we are. But Buddhism suggests that the self is fluid, ever-changing, and interconnected with all beings. Recognizing this interconnectedness fosters empathy and compassion. It also helps us detach from ego-driven worries such as seeking validation or fearing rejection. Let's take a moment to connect these teachings to everyday life. Imagine you're stuck in traffic and starting to feel irritated. Through right understanding, you recognize that traffic delays are part of life. They're neither permanent nor personal. With right intention, you choose to remain calm instead of letting frustration build. Practicing right speech, you avoid snapping at other drivers or complaining loudly. Using right effort, you redirect your attention to something soothing like deep breathing or listening to music. And with right mindfulness, you stay present, observing your irritation without judgment. Each step diminishes the impact of worry, replacing it with peace. Buddhism also emphasizes the importance of community or sangha. Surrounding yourself with supportive, like-minded individuals reinforces your practice and provides encouragement during difficult times. Whether it's friends, family, or fellow practitioners, having a network of people who share your values strengthens your resolve to live mindfully. Now, let's address a common misconception about Buddhism, that it advocates detachment from life. Some people interpret Buddhist teachings as encouraging withdrawal from worldly responsibilities or relationships. However, true detachment isn't about disengagement, it's about engaging fully without clinging. You can love deeply, pursue goals passionately, and enjoy life wholeheartedly while maintaining an attitude of non-attachment. This balance allows you to savor experiences without becoming consumed by them. Finally, let's touch on the role of faith in Buddhism. Unlike many religions, Buddhism doesn't demand blind belief. Instead, it invites inquiry and experimentation. The Buddha himself encouraged his followers to test his teachings, saying, "Don't believe me because I say so, try it for yourself." This emphasis on personal experience makes Buddhism accessible to skeptics and seekers alike. You don't need to adopt any dogma, you simply need to practice and observe the results. As we conclude this chapter, let's reflect on what we've learned. The core teachings of Buddhism offer a framework for understanding suffering and transcending it. From the Four Noble Truths to the Eightfold Path, these principles guide us toward greater awareness, compassion, and peace. They remind us that life is inherently uncertain, but that uncertainty is not something to fear. Rather, it's an invitation to live fully, authentically, and mindfully. In the next chapter, we'll explore meditation in greater depth, learning how this ancient practice can anchor us in the present moment and dissolve the grip of worry. Until then, carry these insights with you. Notice how they resonate in your daily life, and remember, every step you take brings you closer to freedom. Chapter 3. What is meditation really? Meditation is one of the most misunderstood practices in modern culture. For many, it conjures images of monks sitting cross-legged for hours, or New Age gurus chanting mantras under waterfalls. While those depictions might be accurate for some, meditation is far simpler and more accessible than most people realize. At its core, meditation is about training the mind to cultivate awareness, clarity, and peace, and it's something anyone can do anywhere, anytime. To truly understand what meditation is, we need to strip away the myths and misconceptions surrounding it. Meditation isn't about emptying your mind completely or achieving some mystical state of bliss. It's not a competition where you win points for how long you can sit still, nor is it reserved for spiritual seekers or those seeking enlightenment. Meditation is a practical tool, a skill that helps you navigate the complexities of life with greater ease and resilience. Let's start by defining meditation in simple terms. Meditation is the practice of focusing your attention intentionally and observing your experience without judgment. It's like exercising a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. In this case, the muscle is your mind. Just as physical exercise improves strength and flexibility, meditation enhances mental focus, emotional regulation, and self-awareness. There are countless forms of meditation, each with its own techniques and goals. Some involve focusing on the breath, others on a mantra, visualization, body sensations, or even compassion. However, for our purposes today, we'll focus primarily on mindfulness meditation, a practice rooted in Buddhist tradition but widely embraced across cultures and belief systems. Mindfulness meditation invites you to anchor your attention in the present moment using your breath as a guide. When distractions arise, and they will, you gently bring your focus back to the breath without criticizing yourself for wandering. Why does mindfulness meditation work so well? Because it addresses one of the root causes of suffering, habitual thinking. Our minds are constantly generating thoughts about the past, the future, other people, ourselves, and much of this mental chatter goes unnoticed. We react automatically, letting our thoughts dictate our emotions and actions. But through meditation, we learn to observe our thoughts rather than being controlled by them. This creates space between stimulus and response, giving us the freedom to choose how we react. Now let's dive deeper into the mechanics of mindfulness meditation. The process begins with finding a comfortable position. You don't have to sit cross-legged on the floor unless that feels right for you. Sitting upright in a chair with your feet flat on the ground works just as well. The key is to maintain a posture that supports alertness while allowing relaxation. Your hands can rest gently on your lap, palms up or down. It's entirely up to you. Once you're settled, close your eyes or soften your gaze. Take a few deep breaths, inhaling slowly through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. Feel your body settling into stillness. Then allow your breathing to return to its natural rhythm. There's no need to force anything. Simply notice the sensation of air entering and leaving your nostrils. If your mind wanders, which it inevitably will, acknowledge the distraction and gently redirect your attention back to your breath. This cycle of noticing and returning is the essence of meditation. Each time you catch your mind wandering and bring it back to the present moment, you're strengthening your ability to stay focused. Over time, this practice spills over into everyday life, helping you remain calm and centered even when faced with challenges. But here's the thing. Meditation isn't always easy. In fact, it can feel frustrating at first. Many beginners report feeling restless, bored, or overwhelmed by the sheer volume of thoughts racing through their minds. This is completely normal. Meditation isn't about stopping thoughts, it's about changing your relationship with them. Instead of getting caught up in every thought, you learn to watch them pass, like clouds drifting across the sky. You begin to see that thoughts are transient. They come and go, just like emotions and sensations. One powerful analogy for understanding meditation comes from the image of a jar filled with muddy water. When you shake the jar, the water becomes cloudy and chaotic. But if you set it down and leave it undisturbed, the sediment gradually settles, leaving the water clear and still. Similarly, when you meditate, you give your mind a chance to settle. The chaos subsides, revealing a deeper sense of clarity and calm beneath the surface. Another benefit of meditation is its impact on stress and anxiety. Research shows that regular meditation lowers cortisol levels, reduces inflammation, and promotes relaxation. It also rewires the brain, strengthening areas associated with focus, empathy, and emotional regulation while shrinking the amygdala, the part responsible for fear and reactivity. These changes don't happen overnight, but with consistent practice, they accumulate over time, leading to profound shifts in how you experience life. So, how do you make meditation a sustainable habit? Start small. 5 minutes a day is enough to build momentum. As you grow more comfortable, gradually increase the duration to 10, 15, or 20 minutes, or longer if you wish. Consistency matters more than length. Meditating for 5 minutes daily has greater benefits than meditating for an hour once a week. Timing is another important consideration. Morning meditation sets a positive tone for the day, while evening meditation helps you unwind and reflect. That said, there's no right time to meditate. It's about finding what works best for you. Experiment with different times and see what feels most natural. Environment also plays a role. Ideally, choose a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Dim lighting, soft music, or incense can enhance the atmosphere, but they're not necessary. What's essential is creating a container of safety and intention. Even a cluttered room or a busy park can become a sacred space if you approach it with mindfulness. For those who struggle with traditional seated meditation, movement-based practices like walking meditation or yoga can serve as alternatives. Walking meditation involves paying close attention to each step, noticing the sensation of your feet touching the ground and the rhythm of your breath. Yoga combines physical postures with mindful breathing, offering a holistic way to integrate body and mind. Both approaches share the same goal, cultivating presence and awareness. It's worth noting that meditation isn't a quick fix. Like any skill, it requires patience and persistence. On some days, you'll feel deeply relaxed and connected. On others, you may feel restless or distracted. That's okay. Progress isn't linear, and every session counts, even the challenging ones. Remember, meditation isn't about achieving perfection, it's about showing up and doing the work. As you develop your practice, you may notice subtle changes in your mindset and behavior. You might find yourself reacting less impulsively, listening more attentively, or appreciating small moments of beauty. These shifts often occur unconsciously, emerging naturally as a result of sustained effort. Don't rush the process. Trust that transformation is happening beneath the surface. Now, let's address a common concern. What if I fall asleep during meditation? Falling asleep occasionally is perfectly normal, especially if you're tired or meditating late at night. If it happens frequently, try adjusting your posture or practicing at a different time. Sleepiness isn't a failure, it's feedback. Use it to refine your approach. Another question people often ask is whether meditation conflicts with religious beliefs. The answer is no. Meditation is a universal practice that transcends cultural and spiritual boundaries. Whether you're Christian, Muslim, Jewish, atheist, or agnostic, meditation can complement your worldview without requiring you to abandon your faith. It's a tool for cultivating inner peace, regardless of external labels. Finally, let's talk about the ripple effects of meditation. When you meditate regularly, you not only transform yourself but also influence those around you. Calmer minds lead to kinder words and actions. Greater self-awareness fosters deeper connections with others. By taking care of your own well-being, you contribute to the collective good. This interconnectedness is a central theme in Buddhism and mindfulness. It reminds us that our individual journeys are part of a larger whole. To wrap up this chapter, let's summarize what we've covered. Meditation is a practice of intentional focus and non-judgmental observation. It trains the mind to stay present, reducing the grip of habitual thinking and fostering clarity, calm, and compassion. While mindfulness meditation serves as an excellent starting point, there are many forms to explore, each with unique benefits. Building a sustainable practice requires consistency, patience, and openness to experimentation. In the next chapter, we'll examine the science behind mindfulness, uncovering how research validates centuries-old wisdom and provides evidence for its transformative power. Until then, take what you've learned here and apply it. Find a quiet spot, sit comfortably, and give yourself permission to simply be. Trust that every moment spent meditating brings you closer to the peace and freedom you seek. Chapter 4. The Science Behind Mindfulness. Mindfulness isn't just an ancient practice rooted in spiritual traditions. It's also a scientifically validated tool for improving mental, emotional, and physical well-being. Over the past few decades, researchers have dedicated countless hours to studying how mindfulness affects the brain, body, and behavior. What they've discovered is nothing short of remarkable. Today we'll explore the science behind mindfulness, unpacking the evidence that supports its transformative power and explaining why it works so effectively. To begin, let's clarify what we mean by mindfulness in scientific terms. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment with curiosity and without judgment. It involves observing your thoughts, emotions, bodily sensations, and surroundings as they arise, rather than reacting automatically or getting lost in rumination. This simple yet profound shift in awareness has measurable effects on both the structure and function of the brain. One of the most groundbreaking areas of research focuses on neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. For years, scientists believed that the adult brain was relatively fixed after a certain age. However, studies now show that mindfulness meditation can actually change the brain's architecture. A landmark study conducted at Harvard University found that participants who completed an 8-week mindfulness-based stress reduction (MBSR) program experienced significant increases in gray matter density in regions associated with learning, memory, emotion regulation, and empathy. At the same time, they showed decreases in gray matter in the amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for fear and stress responses. These structural changes corresponded with participants reporting reduced anxiety and improved mood. The implications of these findings are enormous. They suggest that mindfulness doesn't just make us feel better temporarily, it literally rewires our brains for greater resilience and happiness. By strengthening areas like the prefrontal cortex, which governs decision-making and impulse control, mindfulness helps us respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Meanwhile, shrinking the amygdala reduces our tendency to overreact to perceived threats, whether real or imagined. This dual effect creates a powerful antidote to chronic stress and worry. Another fascinating area of research examines the impact of mindfulness on the autonomic nervous system, which regulates involuntary bodily functions like heart rate, digestion, and breathing. Chronic stress keeps the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight response, on high alert, flooding the body with cortisol and adrenaline. Over time, this takes a toll on health, contributing to conditions like hypertension, insomnia, and weakened immunity. Mindfulness activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode, promoting relaxation and restoring balance. Studies using heart rate variability, HRV, a measure of autonomic flexibility, consistently show that mindfulness practitioners exhibit higher HRV levels, indicating better stress management and overall cardiovascular health. Beyond its physiological benefits, mindfulness also enhances psychological well-being. Research demonstrates that regular mindfulness practice reduces symptoms of depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. One reason for this is its ability to disrupt negative thought patterns. People struggling with anxiety often engage in catastrophic thinking, imagining worst-case scenarios and becoming consumed by dread. Similarly, those dealing with depression may ruminate endlessly on past failures or perceived inadequacies. Mindfulness interrupts these cycles by fostering a sense of detachment from thoughts. Instead of identifying with them, I am anxious or I am worthless, individuals learn to observe them objectively. This is a thought about anxiety, or this is a story I'm telling myself. This subtle shift diminishes their power, allowing space for healthier perspectives to emerge. Let's delve deeper into specific mindfulness interventions and their outcomes. Programs like MBSR and mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, MBCT, have gained widespread recognition for their effectiveness in treating various mental health challenges. MBCT, for example, combines traditional cognitive behavioral techniques with mindfulness practices to prevent relapse in individuals with recurrent depression. Clinical trials show that MBCT reduces relapse rates by up to 50%, making it as effective as antidepressant medications for some patients. Participants report feeling more grounded, less overwhelmed by negative emotions, and better equipped to handle life's ups and downs. In addition to addressing clinical issues, mindfulness has been shown to boost general wellness. Workplace studies reveal that employees who participate in mindfulness training experience lower burnout, increased job satisfaction, and enhanced productivity. Schools implementing mindfulness programs report improvements in students' attention spans, social skills, and academic performance. Even healthcare professionals benefit, showing reduced compassion fatigue and greater patient-centered care after incorporating mindfulness into their routines. These findings underscore the versatility of mindfulness. It's not limited to any one demographic or context, but offers universal value. Now let's talk about the biological mechanisms underlying mindfulness's benefits. One key factor is its influence on inflammation. Chronic inflammation is linked to numerous diseases, including heart disease, diabetes, cancer, and autoimmune disorders. Stress exacerbates inflammation by triggering the release of pro-inflammatory cytokines. Mindfulness mitigates this process by lowering cortisol levels and promoting relaxation, thereby reducing inflammation markers like C-reactive protein, CRP. In fact, a study published in Psychoneuroendocrinology found that participants who engaged in mindfulness meditation had significantly lower CRP levels compared to a control group, suggesting a protective effect against inflammatory diseases. Another intriguing aspect of mindfulness is its impact on telomeres, the protective caps at the ends of chromosomes that shorten as we age. Telomere length is considered a biomarker of cellular aging. Shorter telomeres are associated with increased risk of chronic illness and premature death. Preliminary research indicates that mindfulness may slow telomere shortening, potentially extending lifespan and enhancing quality of life. While more studies are needed to confirm these results, the possibility of mindfulness influencing aging at the genetic level is incredibly exciting. Mindfulness also fosters social connection and pro-social behavior. Functional MRI scans reveal that mindfulness meditation increases activity in brain regions involved in empathy and compassion, such as the anterior insular and temporoparietal junction. This heightened sensitivity to others' emotions translates into real-world actions. People who practice mindfulness tend to be more altruistic, cooperative, and forgiving. They are also less likely to engage in aggressive or retaliatory behaviors, even when provoked. These qualities create a ripple effect, improving relationships and fostering harmonious communities. For skeptics who question whether mindfulness truly delivers tangible results, consider the growing body of meta-analyses and systematic reviews supporting its efficacy. A comprehensive review published in JAMA Internal Medicine analyzed 47 randomized controlled trials involving over 3,500 participants. The authors concluded that mindfulness meditation programs produced moderate improvements in anxiety, depression, and pain with minimal adverse effects. Another meta-analysis published in Clinical Psychology Review examined 209 studies and found consistent evidence for mindfulness's positive effects on psychological functioning across diverse populations. Despite its many benefits, it's important to acknowledge that mindfulness isn't a panacea. It doesn't cure all ailments or eliminate life's challenges, nor does it work the same way for everyone. Some individuals may require additional support, such as therapy or medication, alongside mindfulness practice. Others may find certain forms of mindfulness difficult due to trauma, cultural differences, or personal preferences. The key is to approach mindfulness with realistic expectations and adapt it to fit your unique needs. So, how can you apply this scientific knowledge to your own life? Start by recognizing that mindfulness isn't just about sitting quietly. It's a skill you can integrate into every aspect of your day. Washing dishes. Focus on the warmth of the water and the scent of soap. Walking. Pay attention to the rhythm of your steps and the sensation of ground beneath your feet. Eating. Savor each bite, noticing flavors, textures, and aromas. These small moments of presence accumulate, creating a foundation of calm and clarity. Technology can also play a role in supporting your mindfulness journey. Apps like Headspace, Calm, and Insight Timer offer guided meditations tailored to different goals and experience levels. Wearable devices track metrics like heart rate variability and stress levels, providing feedback on your progress. Online courses and virtual retreats connect you with teachers and communities worldwide. While technology shouldn't replace direct experience, it can serve as a helpful supplement. Finally, let's address the importance of community in sustaining mindfulness practice. Human beings are inherently social creatures. We thrive on connection and shared purpose. Joining a mindfulness group, Attending workshops or participating in online forums allows you to exchange insights, celebrate successes, and navigate difficulties together. Knowing that others are walking a similar path provides encouragement and accountability, reinforcing your commitment to growth. To conclude this chapter, let's recap what we've learned. The science behind mindfulness reveals its profound impact on the brain, body, and behavior, from altering neural pathways to reducing inflammation, boosting immunity, and enhancing social bonds. Mindfulness offers a wealth of benefits that extend far beyond stress reduction. It equips us with tools to navigate life's challenges with greater resilience, clarity, and compassion. By integrating mindfulness into our daily routines, we not only improve our own well-being but also contribute positively to the world around us. In the next chapter, we'll transition from theory to practice, exploring how to start your own meditation routine. We'll provide step-by-step guidance, practical tips, and troubleshooting strategies to help you establish a sustainable habit, whether you're a complete beginner or someone looking to refine their approach. Until then, take a moment to reflect on the scientific insights we've discussed. Allow them to inspire confidence in your journey, knowing that the practices you're embracing are backed by rigorous research and centuries of wisdom. Chapter 5. Starting your meditation practice. Starting a meditation practice can feel daunting, especially if you're new to the concept or unsure where to begin. But here's the truth. Meditation is one of the most accessible tools for cultivating peace, clarity, and resilience, and it doesn't require any special equipment, skills, or beliefs. All it takes is a willingness to show up, even if just for a few minutes each day. In this chapter, we'll walk through everything you need to know to start your meditation journey, from finding the right space to troubleshooting common challenges. Let's begin with the basics, setting up your environment. While meditation can happen anywhere, creating a dedicated space helps signal to your mind that it's time to focus inward. Choose a quiet corner of your home, or even outdoors if possible, where distractions are minimal. You don't need an elaborate setup. Simplicity is key. A comfortable cushion, chair, or mat will suffice. If you'd like, add elements that inspire calmness, such as candles, plants, or soft lighting. The goal is to create a container of safety and intention, a place where you feel supported in your practice. Once your space is ready, let's talk about posture. Contrary to popular belief, there's no single correct way to sit during meditation. What matters most is maintaining a position that supports alertness while allowing relaxation. For many people, sitting cross-legged on the floor works well. Place a cushion under your hips to elevate them slightly, which helps keep your spine straight without straining your lower back. Rest your hands gently on your knees or lap, palms facing up or down depending on what feels natural. If sitting on the floor isn't comfortable, try using a chair instead. Keep your feet flat on the ground, shoulders relaxed, and chin slightly tucked. The important thing is to find a posture that allows you to stay awake and present without discomfort. Now, let's address one of the most common questions beginners ask. What should I do with my eyes? There are two main options and both are valid. Some people prefer closing their eyes to minimize visual distractions and turn inward more easily. Others choose to soften their gaze, letting their eyelids rest halfway open while focusing softly on a spot a few feet ahead. Experiment with both approaches and see which resonates better for you. Remember, meditation is highly personal. What works for someone else might not work for you, and that's perfectly okay. With your posture settled, it's time to focus on your breath, the cornerstone of mindfulness meditation. Begin by taking a few deep inhalations and exhalations through your nose. Feel your lungs expanding fully as you breathe in, then release the air slowly and completely as you breathe out. After these initial deep breaths, allow your breathing to return to its natural rhythm. Don't force anything, simply observe the sensation of air entering and leaving your nostrils. Notice the coolness of the inhale and the warmth of the exhale. Pay attention to the rise and fall of your chest or abdomen. If your mind wanders, and it almost certainly will, acknowledge the distraction and gently guide your attention back to your breath. This cycle of noticing and returning is the essence of meditation. Each time you catch your mind wandering and bring it back to the present moment, you're strengthening your ability to stay focused. Over time, this practice spills over into everyday life, helping you remain calm and centered even when faced with challenges. Think of meditation as a workout for your attention span. Just as lifting weights builds muscle strength, repeatedly bringing your focus back to your breath enhances mental clarity and discipline. But what happens when distractions arise? Let's face it, our minds are incredibly busy places. Thoughts, emotions, and sensations constantly vie for our attention, making it difficult to stay anchored in the present moment. Here's the good news. Distractions aren't failures, they're opportunities. Every time you notice your mind has wandered, congratulate yourself. Why? Because noticing is the first step toward regaining focus. Instead of criticizing yourself for getting distracted, treat it as a chance to practice patience and self-compassion. Acknowledge the thought or feeling without judgment, then gently redirect your attention to your breath. Speaking of thoughts, it's crucial to reframe how you view them during meditation. Many beginners mistakenly believe that meditation involves stopping all thinking, a misconception that leads to frustration and discouragement. The reality is quite different. Thoughts are an inevitable part of the human experience, and they'll always be present during meditation. The key is learning to observe them rather than becoming entangled in them. Imagine your thoughts as clouds drifting across the sky. Watch them come and go without attaching meaning or significance to them. This detachment creates distance, giving you the freedom to respond rather than react. As you develop your practice, you may encounter physical sensations ranging from mild discomfort to intense restlessness. Perhaps your legs fall asleep, your back aches, or your mind feels jittery. These experiences are normal and often temporary. If physical discomfort becomes unbearable, adjust your posture slightly or shift positions. Remember, the purpose of meditation isn't to endure suffering, it's to cultivate awareness and ease. Similarly, if restlessness arises, remind yourself that it's just another passing sensation. Anchor yourself in your breath and trust that stillness will emerge in time. Another common obstacle is sleepiness. Falling asleep occasionally during meditation is perfectly natural, especially if you're tired or meditating late at night. If it happens frequently, consider adjusting your posture or practicing at a different time. Sitting upright in a chair or against a wall can help maintain alertness, while morning sessions tend to be less prone to drowsiness. Alternatively, experiment with walking meditation, which combines mindful movement with focused attention. Whatever approach you choose, prioritize consistency over perfection. Now, let's discuss timing. How long should you meditate? For beginners, starting small is essential. Aim for 5 to 10 minutes per session, gradually increasing the duration as you grow more comfortable. Consistency matters far more than length. Meditating for 5 minutes daily has greater benefits than meditating for an hour once a week. Set aside a specific time each day, whether it's upon waking, during lunch breaks, or before bed, and stick to it as closely as possible. Building a routine reinforces habit, making it easier to sustain over time. If you're unsure how to structure your sessions, guided meditations can be incredibly helpful. Apps like Headspace, Calm, and Insight Timer offer a wide range of recordings tailored to different goals and experience levels. Listening to a teacher's voice provides guidance and encouragement, especially during the early stages of your practice. As you gain confidence, you can transition to unguided meditation, relying solely on your inner compass. For those who enjoy variety, exploring different meditation techniques can keep your practice fresh and engaging. In addition to mindfulness meditation, consider trying loving kindness, metta meditation, which cultivates compassion for yourself and others. Visualize sending wishes of happiness, peace, and well-being to loved ones, acquaintances, and even people you find challenging. Body scan meditations involve systematically directing your attention to different parts of your body, releasing tension and promoting relaxation. Breathing exercises, mantra repetition, and visualization techniques also offer unique ways to deepen your connection with the present moment. It's worth noting that meditation isn't a linear process. Some days you'll feel deeply relaxed and connected. Other days you may feel restless or distracted. That's okay. Progress isn't measured by how good a session feels, but by your commitment to showing up consistently. Even the most seasoned practitioners experience off days. It's part of the journey. Trust that every moment spent meditating contributes to your growth, even if the effects aren't immediately apparent. To further support your practice, consider incorporating journaling or reflection into your routine. After each session, take a few minutes to write down any insight, emotions, or observations that arose. Journaling helps solidify the lessons learned during meditation and provides a record of your progress over time. You might notice patterns, such as recurring thoughts or emotional triggers, that offer valuable clues about areas for growth. Over time, this reflective practice deepens your self-awareness and strengthens your ability to navigate life's challenges with greater clarity. Another powerful way to enhance your meditation practice is by cultivating gratitude. At the end of each session, take a moment to acknowledge something you're grateful for. It could be as simple as the air you breathe, the roof over your head, or the opportunity to meditate. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant, fostering a sense of contentment and joy. This small yet impactful habit can transform not only your meditation sessions but also your overall outlook on life. Now let's address some common misconceptions about meditation. One widespread myth is that it requires hours of dedication to see results. While longer sessions can be beneficial, even brief moments of mindfulness make a difference. Studies show that just 10 minutes of daily meditation can reduce stress, improve focus, and boost mood. The key is consistency, not duration. Think of meditation like brushing your teeth. Short, regular sessions yield better outcomes than infrequent marathons. Another misconception is that meditation demands complete silence. While quiet environments are ideal, they're not always feasible. If you live in a noisy household or bustling city, don't let external distractions deter you. Instead, treat sounds as part of your practice. Notice them without judgment, then gently return your attention to your breath. Over time, you'll discover that meditation isn't about escaping noise, it's about finding peace amidst it. Some people worry that meditation conflicts with their religious or spiritual beliefs. However, mindfulness is inherently secular and adaptable to any worldview. Whether you're Christian, Muslim, Jewish, atheist, or agnostic, meditation complements your existing framework without requiring you to abandon it. Its universal principles, awareness, compassion, and presence transcend cultural boundaries, making it accessible to everyone. Finally, let's talk about the ripple effects of meditation. When you commit to a regular practice, the benefits extend far beyond your personal well-being. Mindfulness enhances your relationships by improving communication, empathy, and patience. It fosters a greater sense of connection, not only with others, but also with yourself and the world around you. By taking care of your own mental and emotional health, you create a positive impact that radiates outward, contributing to a kinder, more compassionate society. To wrap up this chapter, let's summarize what we've covered. Starting a meditation practice begins with setting up a comfortable space and adopting a posture that supports alertness and relaxation. Focusing on your breath serves as an anchor, helping you stay present despite distractions. Thoughts and sensations will arise, but rather than resisting them, observe them non-judgmentally and return your attention to your breath. Consistency is key. Start small and build gradually, experimenting with different techniques to find what resonates with you. Guided meditations, journaling, and gratitude practices can enrich your experience, while addressing common misconceptions ensures you approach a meditation with realistic expectations. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to bring mindfulness into your daily life, transforming ordinary activities into opportunities for presence and peace. Until then, take what you've learned here and apply it. Find a quiet spot, settle into a comfortable position, and give yourself permission to simply be. Trust that every step you take brings you closer to the calm, clarity, and fulfillment you seek. Chapter 6. Bringing mindfulness into daily life. Mindfulness isn't confined to the cushion, it's a way of living. While meditation provides a structured space to train your attention and cultivate awareness, mindfulness can and should extend into every aspect of your daily life. In fact, the true power of mindfulness lies in its ability to transform ordinary moments into extraordinary ones. Today we'll explore how to bring mindfulness into your everyday routines, turning mundane tasks into opportunities for presence, peace, and connection. Let's start with a fundamental truth. Mindfulness is about being fully present in whatever you're doing. It's the opposite of multitasking or going through the motions on autopilot. When you eat, truly taste your food. When you walk, feel the ground beneath your feet. When you listen, give your full attention to the speaker. These small acts of presence may seem simple, but they have a profound impact on your well-being and relationships. They anchor you in the here and now, reducing stress and enhancing your enjoyment of life. One of the easiest ways to practice mindfulness is during routine activities, those moments that often pass unnoticed because they're so familiar. Consider something as basic as brushing your teeth. Instead of letting your mind wander to your to-do list or replaying yesterday's conversations, focus entirely on the experience. Notice the sensation of the toothbrush against your gums, the minty flavor of the toothpaste, the sound of bristles moving across enamel. By immersing yourself in the details, you turn a habitual task into a mindful ritual. The same principle applies to other daily chores. Washing dishes, for example, can become a meditative practice. As you scrub each plate, pay attention to the warmth of the water, the texture of the sponge, the rhythm of your movements. If your mind drifts, gently bring it back to the task at hand. This deliberate focus not only makes dishwashing more enjoyable, but also creates a sense of accomplishment and calm. Over time, you'll notice that even seemingly tedious activities hold beauty when approached with mindfulness. Mealtime offers another rich opportunity for mindfulness. In our fast-paced world, many of us eat quickly, distracted by phones, TVs, or work. But mindful eating invites you to slow down and savor each bite. Before you begin, take a moment to appreciate the colors, textures, and aromas of your food. As you eat, choose slowly and deliberately, noticing the flavors and how they evolve. Pause between bites to check in with your body. Are you still hungry, or are you eating out of habit? This mindful approach not only improves digestion, but also helps prevent overeating by reconnecting you with your body's signals. Walking is another activity ripe for mindfulness. Whether you're strolling through a park, commuting to work, or pacing around your home, walking can be a powerful grounding practice. Start by paying attention to your steps, the sensation of your feet touching the ground, the swing of your arms, the rhythm of your breath. If you're outdoors, notice the sights, sounds, and smells around you. Feel the breeze on your skin, hear the rustle of leaves, observe the play of light and shadow. Walking mindfully turns a functional act into a sensory experience, reminding you of the wonder hidden in plain sight. Even moments of waiting, often seen as wasted time, can become opportunities for mindfulness. Standing in line at the grocery store, sitting in traffic, or waiting for a meeting to start are all chances to practice presence. Instead of reaching for your phone or ruminating on frustrations, use these pauses to connect with your breath. Feel the rise and fall of your chest, the sensation of air entering and leaving your nostrils, or simply observe your surroundings without judgment. By reframing waiting as a gift rather than an inconvenience, you reclaim control over your mindset. Communication is another area where mindfulness can make a significant difference. How often do we half listen during conversations, preoccupied with crafting our response or thinking about something else entirely? Mindful listening means giving someone your undivided attention, Make eye contact, nod occasionally to show engagement, and resist the urge to interrupt. Notice their tone of voice, facial expressions, and body language. When you respond, do so thoughtfully, choosing words that reflect empathy and understanding. This level of attentiveness deepens connections and fosters mutual respect. Mindfulness also plays a crucial role in managing emotions. Life inevitably brings challenges, difficult conversations, stressful deadlines, unexpected setbacks. In these moments, mindfulness allows you to pause before reacting. Take a few deep breaths, centering yourself in the present moment. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Where do I feel it in my body? Simply naming the emotion, anger, sadness, frustration, creates distance, giving you space to choose a constructive response rather than acting impulsively. Over time, this practice builds emotional resilience, enabling you to navigate adversity with greater grace. Now, let's talk about integrating mindfulness into work. Many people struggle to stay focused in today's hyper-connected world, constantly bombarded by emails, notifications, and distractions. Mindfulness can help you reclaim productivity and reduce burnout. Start by setting clear intentions for each task. Before diving in, ask yourself, what is my goal here? Why does this matter? Then immerse yourself fully in the activity, resisting the temptation to multitask. If your mind wanders, acknowledge the distraction and gently refocus. Taking short mindfulness breaks throughout the day, pausing to breathe deeply or stretch, can also recharge your energy and improve concentration. Technology, while a double-edged sword, can support mindfulness when used intentionally. Apps like Insight Timer or Calm offer guided meditations tailored to busy schedules, helping you carve out moments of stillness. Digital reminders can prompt you to pause and check in with yourself throughout the day. However, it's equally important to set boundaries with technology. Designate tech-free times or zones, such as during meals or before bed, to protect your mental space. By using technology mindfully, you harness its benefits without letting it dominate your life. Another powerful aspect of mindfulness is its ability to deepen your relationship with nature. Spending time outdoors has been shown to reduce stress, boost mood, and enhance creativity. Whether you're hiking in the mountains, gardening in your backyard, or simply gazing at the stars, nature invites you to slow down and appreciate the interconnectedness of all things. Practice mindful observation by focusing on one element, a tree swaying in the wind, the pattern of clouds drifting across the sky, the sound of birdsong. Allow yourself to marvel at the simplicity and complexity of the natural world. Gratitude is another cornerstone of mindful living. Cultivating gratitude shifts your perspective from scarcity to abundance, fostering a sense of contentment and joy. At various points throughout the day, pause to acknowledge something you're grateful for. It could be as grand as a meaningful conversation with a loved one, or as subtle as the warmth of sunlight on your face. Writing these moments down in a gratitude journal amplifies their impact, creating a tangible reminder of life's blessings. Over time, this practice rewires your brain to notice and appreciate the good, even amid difficulties. Finally, let's address the importance of self-compassion in mindfulness. Being present doesn't mean striving for perfection. It means embracing imperfection with kindness. There will be days when mindfulness feels effortless and others when it seems impossible. On tough days, treat yourself with the same compassion you'd offer a friend. Acknowledge your struggles without judgment, reminding yourself that mindfulness is a journey, not a destination. Every effort counts, no matter how small. To conclude this chapter, let's recap what we've learned. Mindfulness extends far beyond formal meditation. It's a way of engaging with life fully and authentically. By bringing awareness to everyday activities, you transform routine tasks into opportunities for presence and peace. From mindful eating and walking to compassionate communication and gratitude practices, these tools enrich your daily experience, reducing stress and enhancing fulfillment. Remember, mindfulness isn't about achieving some ideal state. It's about showing up again and again with curiosity and openness. In the next chapter, we'll delve into the concept of letting go of attachment. one of Buddhism's most liberating teachings. We'll explore why attachment leads to suffering and how releasing it opens the door to freedom and contentment. Until then, carry these insights into your daily life. Look for moments to practice mindfulness and trust that each step brings you closer to lasting peace. Chapter 7. Letting Go of Attachment. One of the most profound yet challenging teachings in Buddhism is the idea of letting go of attachment. At first glance, this concept might seem counterintuitive or even unsettling. After all, attachment often feels like love, ambition, or simply caring deeply about something. But when we examine it closely, we realize that attachment is not the same as connection. While connection fosters joy, growth, and harmony, attachment binds us to outcomes, fuels suffering, and keeps us trapped in cycles of craving and aversion. Today we'll explore what attachment truly means, why it leads to suffering, and how releasing it can bring freedom, peace, and deeper fulfillment. Let's begin by defining attachment. In Buddhist terms, attachment refers to our tendency to cling to people, possessions, ideas, or outcomes because we believe they will bring us lasting happiness or security. This clinging arises from ignorance, our misunderstanding of the impermanent, interconnected nature of reality. We mistakenly think that external circumstances can provide permanent satisfaction, so we grasp tightly to what we want and resist what we don't. The problem is that nothing in life is static. Everything changes. Relationships evolve, careers shift, health fluctuates, seasons pass. When we attach ourselves to specific outcomes, we set ourselves up for disappointment whenever reality doesn't align with our expectations. To illustrate this, imagine someone who dreams of landing their dream job. They pour all their energy into achieving it, believing it will finally make them happy. When they succeed, they feel elated, but only temporarily. Soon, new challenges arise, or dissatisfaction sets in as they realize the job isn't perfect after all. Alternatively, if they fail to get the job, they spiral into despair, convinced their worth depends on this single achievement. Both scenarios highlight the instability of attachment. Whether we attain what we desire or not, clinging to it creates suffering because it ignores the fluidity of life. Now let's clarify an important distinction. Letting go of attachment doesn't mean abandoning love, goals, or passions. It means engaging with them without clinging. You can cherish your family, pursue your dreams, and enjoy material comforts, while recognizing that none of these things define your ultimate happiness. True contentment comes from within, not from external achievements or possessions. By loosening your grip, you open yourself to greater freedom and resilience. Instead of being controlled by fear of loss or obsession with gain, you learn to flow with life's natural rhythm. So, how do we begin letting go of attachment? The first step is awareness. Notice where attachment shows up in your life. Is it in relationships where you demand constant validation or fear abandonment? Is it in material goods where you equate possessions with success or identity? Is it in ideas or beliefs where you rigidly hold on to certain viewpoints despite evidence to the contrary? Identifying these patterns is essential because you can't release what you don't see. Once you've identified areas of attachment, practice observing them without judgment. For example, if you find yourself obsessing over a particular outcome, say getting promoted at work, ask yourself, why does this matter so much to me? What am I afraid will happen if I don't achieve it? Often the root of attachment lies in fear of failure, rejection, inadequacy, or uncertainty. By shining a light on these fears, you begin to dismantle their power over you. Another powerful tool for releasing attachment is embracing impermanence. Impermanence is one of the three marks of existence in Buddhism, alongside suffering, dukkha, and non-self, anatta. It teaches us that everything is transient, nothing lasts forever. While this truth can feel unsettling, it's also incredibly liberating. When we accept that change is inevitable, we stop resisting it. We learn to appreciate the beauty of fleeting moments instead of clinging to them desperately. Consider the changing seasons. Spring brings vibrant blossoms, summer offers lush greenery. Autumn dazzles with fiery foliage, and winter blankets the world in stillness. Each season has its own charm, yet none remains indefinitely. If we clung to summer's warmth, refusing to let go as autumn approaches, we'd miss the splendor of fall's colors. Similarly, if we fixate on past joys or future hopes, we overlook the richness of the present moment. Embracing impermanence allows us to savor life fully, knowing that every experience, good or bad, is temporary. Mindfulness plays a crucial role in cultivating acceptance of impermanence. Through mindfulness, we train ourselves to stay present, observing life as it unfolds without trying to control it. When difficult emotions arise, whether sadness over a lost relationship or frustration with unmet goals, we acknowledge them without resistance. We remind ourselves that these feelings too are impermanent. Like storm clouds passing across the sky, they will eventually dissipate, making room for clarity and calm. Let's delve deeper into the practical application of letting go. Start small by identifying minor attachments in your daily life. Perhaps you're attached to a morning routine that gets disrupted occasionally. Instead of feeling irritated, experiment with flexibility. Can you adapt gracefully to changes, finding joy in spontaneity rather than rigidity? Or maybe you're attached to a particular image of yourself, smart, successful, always composed. When you make a mistake or face criticism, does it shake your confidence? Practice self-compassion, reminding yourself that no one is perfect, and imperfection is part of being human. In relationships, attachment often manifests as dependency or control. We might cling to a partner out of fear of loneliness or try to mold them into our ideal version of who they should be. Letting go of attachment here means fostering healthy boundaries and allowing others to be themselves. Love becomes less about possession and more about mutual respect and support. Paradoxically, releasing the need to control deepens intimacy, creating space for authentic connection. Material possessions are another common source of attachment. Society bombards us with messages that equate wealth, status, and belongings with happiness. But true fulfillment rarely comes from external acquisitions. Instead, it stems from inner peace, meaningful experiences, and genuine connections. To release attachment to material goods, practice gratitude for what you already have. Notice how often your desires arise from comparison or societal pressure rather than genuine need. Simplify your life by decluttering physical spaces and prioritizing quality over quantity. Over time, you'll discover that less really is more. Ideas and beliefs can also become attachments, especially in a polarized world where differing opinions often lead to conflict. Holding rigidly to ideologies prevents us from seeing alternative perspectives and limits our growth. Letting go of attachment to fixed views involves humility and openness to learning and evolving. Ask yourself, am I defending this belief because it serves me or because I'm afraid of being wrong? Cultivate curiosity instead of defensiveness, seeking understanding rather than victory in debates. Another aspect of letting go is forgiveness, both of others and yourself. Unresolved anger or guilt keeps us tethered to the past, preventing us from moving forward freely. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning harmful actions. It means releasing the burden of resentment so you can heal. Visualize placing your pain in a river, watching it drift away. With each act of forgiveness, you lighten your load, creating space for peace and renewal. Finally, let's address the role of surrender in letting go. Surrender doesn't imply giving up or passivity. It means trusting the process of life. When faced with uncertainty or hardship, instead of fighting against it, lean into it. Ask, what can I learn from this? How can I grow stronger through this challenge? Surrender invites faith, not necessarily in a higher power, but in your own capacity to adapt and thrive. It reminds you that even in darkness, seeds of transformation are planted. To wrap up this chapter, let's summarize what we've covered. Attachment arises from ignorance and leads to suffering because it ignores the impermanent, interconnected nature of reality. Whether it's clinging to relationships, material goods, outcomes, or beliefs, attachment binds us to a false sense of control and security. By cultivating awareness, embracing impermanence, and practicing mindfulness, we can begin to loosen our grip on these attachments. Letting go doesn't mean abandoning love, goals, or passions. It means engaging with them without clinging, allowing life to flow naturally while remaining open to its ever-changing nature. In practical terms, letting go involves identifying areas of attachment in your life, observing them without judgment, and gradually releasing the need to control or possess. This process requires patience and self-compassion as it challenges deeply ingrained habits of thought and behavior. However, the rewards are immense: greater freedom, resilience, and peace. When you stop clinging to specific outcomes, you create space for joy, creativity, and deeper connection with yourself and others. Letting go also invites us to embrace life's inherent uncertainty. Instead of fearing the unknown, we learn to see it as an opportunity for growth and discovery. Life becomes less about achieving perfection and more about savoring the journey, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. Each moment, no matter how fleeting, holds the potential for beauty and meaning when approached with presence and acceptance. As we conclude this chapter, take a moment to reflect on where attachment shows up in your own life. What are you holding on to tightly that might be causing unnecessary suffering? How can you begin to release that grip, even just a little? Remember, letting go is not a one-time event, but an ongoing practice. It's about continually returning to the present moment, trusting that life unfolds as it should, and finding contentment in the here and now. In the next chapter, we'll explore the transformative power of compassion, one of Buddhism's most cherished teachings. We'll discuss how cultivating compassion for yourself and others can heal wounds, strengthen relationships, and create a ripple effect of kindness in the world. Until then, carry the insights from this chapter into your daily life. Look for opportunities to practice letting go and trust that each step brings you closer to lasting peace and fulfillment. Chapter 8. Cultivating Compassion. Compassion is one of the most powerful forces in the universe, and it begins with you. Often misunderstood as mere sympathy or pity, compassion runs much deeper. It's the ability to see suffering, whether your own or someone else's, and respond with genuine care, understanding, and a desire to alleviate it. Rooted in both ancient Buddhist teachings and modern psychology, compassion has the potential to transform not only individual lives but also entire communities. In this chapter, we'll explore what compassion truly means, why it matters so much, and how you can cultivate it in your daily life. Let's start by defining compassion more clearly. Unlike empathy, which involves feeling what another person feels, compassion takes it a step further by motivating action. Empathy alone can sometimes lead to emotional exhaustion if we absorb others' pain without knowing how to process it. Compassion, on the other hand, balances awareness of suffering with the intention to help. It's proactive, constructive, and deeply healing for both the giver and the receiver. At its core, compassion begins with self-compassion. Many people struggle to extend kindness to themselves, believing that self-criticism drives improvement, or that self-care is selfish. But nothing could be further wrong. Self-compassion is the foundation upon which all other forms of compassion rest. When you treat yourself with gentleness and understanding, you create a reservoir of love and strength that overflows into your interactions with others. Without self-compassion, attempts to care for others often feel hollow or unsustainable because they're built on shaky ground. So, how do we practice self-compassion? The first step is recognizing when you're being hard on yourself. Notice those inner voices that say things like, "You're not good enough," "Why did you mess up again?" or "You should have known better." These thoughts are universal. They arise from our conditioning and fears, but they don't define you. Once you become aware of them, pause and offer yourself a kind word instead. For example, if you make a mistake at work, rather than berating yourself, try saying, "It's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. I'll learn from this and do better next time." Another powerful practice is mindfulness-based self-compassion exercises. One popular technique is called self-compassionate touch. Place your hand over your heart, cheek or stomach, anywhere that feels comforting, and take a few deep breaths. As you hold yourself physically, remind yourself silently, may I be kind to myself. May I give myself the compassion I need. This simple act bridges the gap between thought and sensation, grounding you in the present moment while soothing emotional pain. Self-compassion also involves acknowledging your shared humanity. Suffering is part of the human experience. It connects us rather than isolates us. When you're struggling, remind yourself that countless others have faced similar challenges. You're not alone. By framing your difficulties within this broader context, you reduce feelings of shame or inadequacy and open yourself to greater acceptance and resilience. Now let's expand outward and talk about cultivating compassion for others. Acts of kindness, big or small, ripple through the world, creating positive change far beyond their immediate impact. Neuroscience supports this idea, showing that performing altruistic deeds activates the brain's reward centers, releasing oxytocin and dopamine, the feel-good hormones. In essence, helping others makes you happier, healthier, and more connected. One way to deepen your capacity for compassion is through a practice known as loving-kindness meditation, or metta meditation. This ancient Buddhist technique involves visualizing yourself and others surrounded by warmth, safety, and goodwill. Begin by sitting comfortably and closing your eyes. Picture someone you love dearly, a close friend, family member, or even a pet. Silently repeat phrases such as, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you live with ease. Feel the sincerity behind these words, imagining them wrapping around the person like a warm blanket. Once you've sent loving kindness to someone you care about, extend it to neutral individuals, people you encounter regularly but don't know well, like a cashier or neighbor. Then broaden your scope to include difficult people, including those who may have hurt you. While this last step can feel challenging, it's incredibly liberating. By wishing happiness for someone you find challenging, you release resentment and reclaim your peace of mind. Finally, direct the same wishes toward all beings everywhere, recognizing the interconnectedness of life. Beyond formal practices like loving-kindness meditation, everyday moments provide endless opportunities to cultivate compassion. Listening attentively to a friend in distress, offering a smile to a stranger, or volunteering your time for a cause you believe in, all of these actions stem from a compassionate heart. Even small gestures, like holding the door open or expressing gratitude, contribute to a culture of kindness. Over time, these cumulative efforts create profound shifts, not just in others, but in you as well. Let's delve into the science behind compassion. Research shows that compassionate behavior strengthens social bonds, reduces stress, and enhances overall well-being. Studies conducted by organizations like Stanford University's Center for Compassion and Altruism, Research and Education, CCAIR, reveal that practicing compassion increases activity in brain regions associated with empathy, cooperation, and reward processing. It also lowers levels of inflammatory markers linked to chronic illness, suggesting that compassion benefits physical health alongside mental and emotional wellness. Moreover, compassion fosters resilience during adversity. When faced with hardship, people who prioritize caring for others often cope better than those focused solely on themselves. Helping someone else diverts attention away from personal struggles, providing perspective and purpose. During times of collective crisis, such as natural disasters, pandemics, or political unrest, communities that rally together with compassion tend to recover faster and stronger. However, cultivating compassion isn't always easy. Sometimes opening our hearts exposes us to vulnerability, fear, or burnout. To prevent compassion fatigue, it's essential to set boundaries and practice self-care. You can't pour from an empty cup, so ensure you're replenishing your energy regularly. Activities like meditation, journaling, spending time in nature, or engaging in hobbies you enjoy help maintain balance. Additionally, surround yourself with supportive people who uplift and inspire you, reinforcing your commitment to kindness. Another obstacle to compassion is judgment, both of ourselves and others. We live in a society that often values achievement over connection, leading many to view compassion as weakness or naivety. but true strength lies in vulnerability and authenticity. When you choose compassion over criticism, you embody courage and integrity. Judgment separates, compassion unites. Every time you opt for understanding over blame, you contribute to a kinder, more harmonious world. Compassion also plays a vital role in addressing systemic issues like inequality, injustice, and environmental degradation. While individual acts of kindness are meaningful, structural change requires collective effort. Advocating for policies that promote equity, supporting marginalized communities, and protecting the planet reflect compassion on a larger scale. Remember, compassion isn't passive, it's active and engaged. It calls us to stand up for what's right, even when it's uncomfortable. Finally, let's discuss the long-term effects of living a compassionate life. People who consistently practice compassion report higher levels of happiness, satisfaction, and meaning. They experience stronger relationships, greater trust, and increased optimism. Perhaps most importantly, compassion creates a legacy, a ripple effect that extends far beyond our lifetimes. Imagine a world where everyone made conscious choices to act with kindness and empathy. What would that look like? How might it feel? To conclude this chapter, let's recap what we've learned. Compassion starts with self-compassion, an acknowledgement of our shared humanity and a commitment to treating ourselves with kindness. From there, it expands outward, touching every interaction and relationship in our lives. Practices like loving kindness, meditation, mindful listening, and intentional acts of service deepen our capacity for compassion, benefiting both giver and receiver. Scientific research underscores its transformative power, highlighting its role in reducing stress, enhancing well-being, and fostering resilience. In practical terms, cultivating compassion means paying attention to the needs of others, responding with care, and setting healthy boundaries to avoid burnout. It challenges us to confront biases, judgments, and fears, replacing them with openness, curiosity, and love. Over time, compassion becomes less of an effort and more of a natural reflex, a way of being in the world that brings joy, connection, and fulfillment. In the next chapter, we'll tackle the topic of dealing with difficult emotions. We'll explore how mindfulness and self-awareness can help you navigate anger, sadness, grief, and other challenging feelings without becoming overwhelmed. Until then, carry the insights from this chapter into your daily life. Look for opportunities to practice compassion for yourself and others, and notice how it transforms your experience of the world. Chapter 9. Dealing with difficult emotions. Difficult emotions, anger, sadness, fear, frustration, grief, are an inevitable part of the human experience. No matter how mindful or compassionate we strive to be, life will inevitably throw challenges our way that stir up these feelings. The key isn't to avoid or suppress them, but to learn how to navigate them skillfully. In this chapter, we'll explore why difficult emotions arise, how they manifest in our minds and bodies, and most importantly, how mindfulness and self-awareness can help us process and release them in healthy, constructive ways. To begin, it's crucial to recognize that emotions are neither good nor bad. They're simply signals from our inner world. Anger might indicate a boundary being crossed. Sadness could point to loss or unmet needs. Fear often arises when we perceive danger or uncertainty. These emotions serve as messengers, alerting us to what matters deeply to us. The problem arises not from the emotions themselves, but from how we respond to them. When we resist, suppress, or over-identify with our emotions, they grow in intensity and duration, leading to suffering. However, when we approach them with curiosity and compassion, we transform their energy into insight and growth. Let's start by understanding the anatomy of difficult emotions. Emotions are complex phenomena that involve three interconnected components: thoughts, physical sensations, and behaviors. For example, when you feel angry, your mind might race with judgments like, "This isn't fair," or "How dare they?" Simultaneously, your body tenses up. You might clench your fists, feel heat rising in your chest, or notice your heart pounding faster. Finally, your behavior reflects the emotion. You may lash out verbally, withdraw silently, or act impulsively. By breaking down emotions into these components, we gain clarity about their mechanics and find opportunities to intervene before they escalate. Mindfulness is one of the most effective tools for working with difficult emotions. Instead of reacting automatically, mindfulness invites us to pause and observe what's happening within us. This pause creates space, a moment to choose how we want to respond, rather than being swept away by habit. Here's how it works. When you notice a difficult emotion arising, name it silently to yourself. For instance, say, "This is anger," or "This is sadness." Naming the emotion reduces its power because it shifts your relationship to it. You become the observer rather than the victim. You remind yourself that you are not your emotions. They are temporary visitors passing through. Once you've identified the emotion, turn your attention inward to explore its physical manifestation. Where do you feel it in your body? Is it tightness in your jaw, heaviness in your chest, or tension in your shoulders? Physical sensations provide valuable clues about the underlying causes of your emotions. By focusing on these sensations instead of getting lost in the storylines your mind generates, you ground yourself in the present moment. This grounding prevents rumination, the repetitive thought loops that amplify emotional distress, and allows you to meet the emotion with calm awareness. Breath awareness is another powerful technique for managing difficult emotions. Your breath serves as an anchor, helping you stay centered amidst turbulence. When you notice yourself becoming overwhelmed, take a few deep, intentional breaths. Inhale slowly through your nose, allowing your belly to expand fully. Exhale gently through your mouth, releasing any tension or discomfort. With each cycle, imagine breathing into the areas of your body where the emotion resides. For example, if you're feeling anxiety in your stomach, visualize your breath soothing and softening that area. Over time, this practice calms your nervous system and restores equilibrium. Now, let's talk about acceptance, a cornerstone of mindfulness that applies directly to working with emotions. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation or approval. It means acknowledging reality as it is without resistance. When you resist difficult emotions, they persist and intensify. Think of quicksand. The more you struggle against it, the deeper you sink. Similarly, resisting emotions traps you in their grip. But when you accept them, when you say, "Yes, I'm feeling this right now," you create the conditions for them to flow through you and eventually pass. Paradoxically, acceptance makes emotions less overwhelming because it removes the layer of judgment and struggle. Journaling is another invaluable tool for processing difficult emotions. Writing provides a safe outlet for expressing feelings that might otherwise remain bottled up. Start by setting aside a few minutes to write freely about whatever is troubling you. Don't worry about grammar, structure, or coherence. Just let the words pour onto the page. As you write, pay attention to patterns or insights that emerge. Are certain triggers recurring? Do specific thoughts accompany particular emotions? Journaling helps externalize your inner experience, making it easier to understand and address. Another helpful practice is reframing your perspective on difficult emotions. Instead of viewing them as enemies to be avoided, see them as teachers offering wisdom. For example, anger might highlight areas where you need stronger boundaries. Grief could reveal the depth of your love and connection to what has been lost. Fear might signal opportunities for courage and growth. By reframing emotions in this way, you shift from seeing them as obstacles to recognizing them as allies, guiding you toward greater self-awareness and resilience. Of course, dealing with difficult emotions isn't always straightforward. Some emotions feel so intense that they seem impossible to manage. During such moments, remember that it's okay to seek support. Talking to a trusted friend, family member, or therapist can provide relief and perspective. Sharing your feelings lightens the burden and reminds you that you're not alone. Additionally, engaging in activities that bring comfort, whether it's taking a walk in nature, listening to music, or practicing yoga, can help soothe emotional pain. It's also worth noting that unresolved trauma or chronic stress can complicate the process of working with emotions. If you find yourself frequently overwhelmed by emotions that feel disproportionate to the situation at hand, Consider exploring therapies like cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, somatic experiencing, or eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, EMDR. These approaches address the root causes of emotional dysregulation and equip you with tools to heal and thrive. Now let's delve into the role of self-compassion when facing difficult emotions. Many people judge themselves harshly for feeling negative emotions, believing they should always remain calm, cheerful, or composed. But suppressing or denying emotions only prolongs their impact. Self-compassion encourages you to treat yourself with kindness during tough times. Remind yourself that everyone experiences difficult emotions. It's part of being human. Place a hand over your heart and offer yourself comforting words like, "This is hard, but I'm here for myself. I'll get through this." Another aspect of self-compassion is giving yourself permission to rest when needed. Sometimes the best response to overwhelming emotions is simply to pause and recharge. Allow yourself to cry, sleep, or step away from stressful situations temporarily. Taking care of your basic needs, eating nourishing food, staying hydrated, moving your body, creates a foundation of stability that makes it easier to face challenges. Finally, let's discuss the importance of gratitude and positivity in balancing difficult emotions. While it's essential to honor and process challenging feelings, it's equally important to cultivate joy and appreciation. Gratitude practices, such as reflecting on 3 things you're grateful for each day, help counterbalance negativity bias, the brain's tendency to focus on threats or problems. Positivity expands your perspective, reminding you that even in dark times, there are glimmers of light. Combining gratitude with mindfulness creates a powerful synergy, enabling you to hold space for both sorrow and hope simultaneously. To wrap up this chapter, let's summarize what we've covered. Difficult emotions are natural responses to life's challenges, serving as messengers that guide us toward deeper understanding and growth. Mindfulness teaches us to observe emotions without judgment, using tools like breath awareness, naming, and body scanning to regulate their intensity. Acceptance allows emotions to flow through us rather than getting stuck, while journaling and reframing offer additional avenues for processing and learning. Self-compassion ensures we treat ourselves kindly during tough times, seeking support when necessary, and prioritizing rest and care. Gratitude and positivity round out the picture, fostering resilience and balance. In practical terms, dealing with difficult emotions involves staying present, leaning into discomfort, and trusting the process of healing. It requires patience, courage, and a willingness to embrace vulnerability. Over time, you'll discover that emotions, even the most challenging ones, hold gifts waiting to be uncovered. They teach us about ourselves, strengthen our capacity for empathy, and deepen our connection to life's richness. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to create a new relationship with worry, one that transforms it from a source of stress into a catalyst for clarity and action. Until then, carry the insights from this chapter into your daily life. Notice when difficult emotions arise and experiment with the techniques we've discussed. Trust that every step you take brings you closer to emotional freedom and peace. Chapter 10. Creating a new relationship with worry. Worry is one of the most pervasive challenges we face in modern life. It can feel like an unwelcome guest that overstays its welcome, lingering long after the initial trigger has passed. Yet, worry itself isn't inherently harmful. It's how we relate to it that determines whether it becomes a source of suffering or a tool for growth. In this chapter, we'll explore how to create a new relationship with worry, one that transforms it from an enemy into an ally. By reframing your perspective, practicing mindfulness, and developing practical strategies, you can harness worry's energy constructively rather than letting it control you. Let's start by understanding the nature of worry. At its core, worry is a form of mental preparation, an attempt to anticipate and solve potential problems before they arise. From an evolutionary standpoint, this mechanism served us well, helping our ancestors plan for food shortages or protect against predators. However, in today's complex world, worry often spirals out of proportion. Instead of focusing on immediate threats, we project into an uncertain future, imagining worst-case scenarios that rarely materialize. This habit not only drains our energy but also robs us of the present moment. The first step in creating a healthier relationship with worry is recognizing when it arises. Notice the subtle signs: tightness in your chest, racing thoughts, restlessness, or difficulty concentrating. These physical and mental cues signal that worry has taken hold. Once you become aware of these patterns, you're no longer at their mercy. Awareness creates distance, allowing you to observe worry objectively instead of being consumed by it. Next, ask yourself, what is this worry trying to tell me? Often worry stems from unmet needs, unresolved fears, or a desire for control. For example, if you're worried about finances, it might reflect a deeper need for security or stability. If you're anxious about a relationship, it could point to underlying insecurities or unspoken concerns. By identifying the root cause, you gain insight into what truly matters to you. This clarity empowers you to address the issue directly rather than spinning endlessly in thought loops. Mindfulness plays a pivotal role in transforming worry. When you notice worry arising, pause and bring your attention to the present moment. Focus on your breath, the steady rhythm of inhalation and exhalation. Feel the sensation of air entering and leaving your nostrils. Ground yourself in your body, noticing any areas of tension or discomfort. As thoughts arise, acknowledge them without judgment, then gently return your focus to your breath. This practice interrupts the cycle of rumination, giving your mind a chance to settle. Another powerful technique is labeling your thoughts. When worry takes over, silently name it. This is worry. Labeling creates a sense of detachment, reminding you that thoughts are transient phenomena, not facts. They come and go like clouds drifting across the sky. By observing them without attachment, you weaken their grip and reduce their power to disturb your peace. It's also helpful to distinguish between productive and unproductive worry. Productive worry leads to problem solving. For instance, if you're concerned about an upcoming deadline, channel that energy into creating a plan or taking actionable steps. Unproductive worry, on the other hand, involves obsessing over things outside your control. To determine which type of worry you're experiencing, ask yourself, is there something I can do right now to address this concern? If the answer is yes, take action. If the answer is no, remind yourself that worrying won't change the outcome. Redirect your focus to activities that nurture your well-being, such as reading, exercising, or spending time with loved ones. One effective strategy for managing unproductive worry is scheduling worry time. Set aside 10-15 minutes each day to intentionally focus on your worries. During this designated period, write down everything that's troubling you, exploring possible solutions if applicable. When the timer goes off, shift your attention to something uplifting or engaging. The key is to contain worry within specific boundaries, preventing it from spilling over into every aspect of your day. Over time, this practice trains your brain to compartmentalize worry, reducing its frequency and intensity. Visualization exercises can also help reframe your relationship with worry. Imagine placing your worries in a box, sealing it tightly and setting it aside for later. Alternatively, picture your worries as leaves floating down a river carried away by the current. These metaphors reinforce the idea that you don't have to carry your worries constantly. They can be acknowledged, released, and revisited when necessary. Another approach is to cultivate gratitude as a counterbalance to worry. Worry often magnifies what's lacking, while gratitude highlights what's abundant. Each night, reflect on 3 things you're grateful for, from small pleasures like a warm cup of tea to larger blessings like supportive relationships or good health. Gratitude shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance, fostering a sense of contentment and resilience. Over time, this practice rewires your brain to notice the positives more readily, diminishing worry's hold. Self-compassion is equally important in managing worry. Many people judge themselves harshly for feeling anxious or stressed, believing they should snap out of it or stay positive. But self-criticism only amplifies worry, creating a vicious cycle of negativity. Instead, treat yourself with kindness and understanding. Remind yourself that worry is a natural response to uncertainty and that you're doing the best you can. Place a hand over your heart and offer comforting words like, "I'm here for you. We'll get through this together." Now, let's talk about the role of acceptance in transforming worry. Acceptance doesn't mean resigning yourself to fear or passivity. It means acknowledging reality as it is without resistance. When you accept that uncertainty is a fundamental part of life, you stop fighting against it. You realize that trying to control every variable is futile and exhausting. Instead, you learn to embrace ambiguity, trusting that you'll adapt and respond skillfully to whatever arises. Acceptance liberates you from the burden of needing to know everything up front, freeing you to live fully in the present moment. Practicing radical acceptance involves embracing imperfection, both in yourself and in the world around you. Life is messy, unpredictable, and beautiful precisely because of its flaws. By letting go of the illusion of perfection, you open yourself to greater freedom and joy. Worry loses its edge when you stop demanding guarantees and start appreciating the journey. Finally, let's discuss the importance of cultivating a proactive mindset. While worry often focuses on imagined futures, a proactive mindset channels that energy into meaningful action. Identify areas where you feel powerless and brainstorm ways to regain agency. For example, if you're worried about climate change, volunteer for environmental initiatives or adopt sustainable habits. If you're concerned about personal health, commit to regular exercise and nutritious eating. Taking concrete steps, even small ones, restores a sense of control and purpose, mitigating the paralyzing effects of worry. To conclude this chapter, let's recap what we've covered. Worry is a natural human experience that serves as both a signal and a teacher. By becoming aware of its triggers and patterns, you can transform it from a source of suffering into a catalyst for growth. Mindfulness helps you stay grounded in the present moment, while labeling and visualization techniques reduce worry's intensity. Distinguishing between productive and unproductive worry ensures you direct your energy effectively, while gratitude and self-compassion foster resilience and balance. Acceptance allows you to embrace uncertainty with grace, and a proactive mindset empowers you to take meaningful action. In practical terms, creating a new relationship with worry involves staying curious, compassionate, and solution-oriented. It requires patience and persistence, as old habits die hard. But with consistent effort, you'll find that worry becomes less overwhelming and more manageable. You'll discover that it holds valuable insights, guiding you toward greater awareness and alignment with your values. As we wrap up this video, remember that the tools and practices we've explored throughout these 10 chapters are not quick fixes. They're lifelong companions on your journey toward peace and fulfillment. Whether you're meditating, practicing mindfulness, cultivating compassion, or reframing worry, each step brings you closer to living authentically and joyfully. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of Buddhism, meditation, and mindfulness. May these teachings inspire and support you as you navigate life's challenges and joys. Until next time, take care, and may your path be filled with light and love. We've reached the end of our journey together, but this isn't truly an ending, it's a beginning. Over the past 2 hours, we've explored timeless wisdom from Buddhism, meditation, and mindfulness, uncovering tools to help you stop worrying about everything and start living more fully. From understanding the roots of worry to embracing impermanence, cultivating compassion, and transforming your relationship with difficult emotions, each chapter has been designed to empower you with practical insights and actionable steps. If there's one thing I hope you take away from this video, it's this. You have the power to change how you relate to life's challenges. Worry, stress, and uncertainty may always be part of the human experience, but they don't have to define you. By practicing mindfulness, self-compassion, and acceptance, you can navigate these experiences with greater ease and resilience. These practices aren't about escaping reality, they're about meeting it head-on with courage and grace. Remember, transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process built on small, consistent efforts. Maybe today you'll sit quietly for 5 minutes, focusing on your breath. Tomorrow, you might bring mindfulness to a routine task like washing dishes or walking. The next day, you could extend kindness to yourself or someone else. Each step, no matter how small, contributes to lasting change. I also want to acknowledge that this work isn't always easy. There will be days when mindfulness feels effortless and others when it seems impossible. That's okay. Progress isn't linear, and every effort counts, even the ones that feel messy or incomplete. What matters most is showing up again and again with curiosity and openness. Trust that even tiny shifts in awareness ripple outward, creating profound transformations over time. As you move forward, carry these teachings with you, not as rigid rules, but as guiding principles. Let them adapt to your unique needs and circumstances. Whether you're navigating personal struggles, seeking deeper connections, or simply longing for more peace in your daily life, know that you're not alone. Countless others are walking similar paths, and communities like the Mindful Zone exist to support and inspire you along the way. Before we part ways, I'd love to hear from you. What resonated most with you in this video? Was there a particular insight or practice that stood out? Or perhaps something sparked a question or reflection you'd like to share? Leave a comment below. I read every one, and your thoughts help shape future content. If you found value in this video, please consider subscribing and sharing it with someone who might benefit. Together, we can create a ripple effect of mindfulness and compassion in the world. Finally, I want to leave you with a simple yet powerful reminder. Life is happening right now. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, but in this very moment. While planning for the future and reflecting on the past are important, true fulfillment comes from being fully present. So as you go about your day, pause occasionally to notice the beauty around you, the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the sound of laughter, the taste of your favorite meal. These moments may seem ordinary, but they hold extraordinary potential for joy and connection. Thank you for spending this time with me. Your presence here means the world, and I'm deeply grateful for the opportunity to share this space with you. May your journey ahead be filled with peace, clarity, and boundless possibilities. Until we meet again, take care, and remember, every breath is a chance to Bejnanu Namaste.